Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Zilliqa. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. So let's get into the fun stuff here. So now what we were talking about previously, most of the options are still available, and what we were talking about is a couple of things. So I just want to discuss this. We're talking about the possibility this could be a 1, and then we could be setting up for some additional 1s and 2s in here, and then we could actually be looking for the possibility of actually getting a bigger third wave. Alternatively, we can also argue that within the structure, we just have a bigger corrective move where this becomes an A, B, and then we get a C wave to the downside, potentially looking to come down towards this 2363 to this 2169. So we're going to discuss the internals of these in a second. But yeah, there are a couple of options that we have on the table. I am also just being mindful, we haven't actually looked to invalidate this potential of a fourth wave. We haven't moved up past this 50-70. So really, until we do, we could also argue that, within this, we need to just be careful that we don't get a fourth wave complete. And then we actually look to break to the downside again. So we've actually moved up into what we've had marked as a previous fourth wave within the structure over here. And what we're looking for is effectively to see whether we start to develop impulsive movements to the downside. If we do, potential target zone for this would be this 1183 to this 00806. So keep an eye on this if we do start to break and we lose this low of this 1527. Though for as long as we actually hold this 01802 to this 02363, we can look for that potential to look for that upside continuation where we look at, like I said, either this is a B wave or a wave 2, and then we would have a wave 1, and then look for a bigger move to the upside. So we are tracking both of these possibilities just because we need more evidence to be confirming whether this is actually a macro low or whether we are still got some continuation. So I'm just going to turn that off for a second. So within the structure here, we're talking about that possibility of that flat. So this would be how I'd be looking for this move to potentially play out. So we'd be looking at this as an A wave into here, and then this is a overshooting B wave into this high point here. Then we're looking for that continuation to the downside. So what I'd be looking for as a typical zone would be this 02606 to this 02351. So that would be a typical zone um, for a flat correction if we're looking at this as a 5 wave move. So we do also have this lower range over here, which we were talking about, which is worked off slightly different. And that would be looking at this basically off this high point here. We can see that this would bring us up into this range of this 2955 to this 2761. So that would be the one way of working it out. The other way of working it out would just be actually just inversely doing this, and then that gives us our lower target range here. So you know, this is slightly out. I need to adjust this actually. So this lower target range would actually be here. The 618 would be the 023 2311, and then the higher range of that would be this 1236, which would actually be this 02473. So if we do move down into this zone, that could be a potential area we look to target. So keep an eye on that area. We could look to push down into this range for this as a flat correction for the C wave if it becomes an expanding flat. The alternative we'd have to be just a bit mindful of is if we do move down into this zone, we need to just keep an eye on this bottom channel line. If we do actually come back into this area and then we reverse out of here, it is possible that we could have a running flat here, but these are difficult to sort of identify in real time because the problem is what we can get is what we can think is another wave down here. This moves back up and then actually we're still within the green third wave within this move looking to push towards this 2435. So ideally what we'd want to see is a move down towards this 2435. There is also the possibility we could see because of the way this structure is actually developing here. If I let me come into the hourly. So within this structure, we can also argue that within this, we could actually still need another leg to the upside for this C wave. And what I'll be looking for is the potential that actually we have a flat here in this wave too. where we could actually look to come back up here and sweep some of these zones before actually looking to break down. It doesn't have to take this A wave high over here. It could be that we get a 5-wave move that fails to break above it, and then we move down. So just keep an eye on it. The reason I'm looking at that is because of the choppiness of this move to the downside. So there's a couple of ways of looking at it. If we're going to have a direct sell-off, we'd look at that potential as maybe a 1 and 2, and then an additional 1 and a 2, and then we could be looking to extend out here. So there's a couple of ways of looking at it. But if we do actually maintain this zone here, and the ideal range that we'd be looking for, so typically if we're looking at a expanding flat or a running flat, a target zone we look for that B wave is potentially between this 1 to 1 and this 1382 typically. So we've already come past that 1 to 1. So if we do continue to progress down here, I'd be looking out for this area of this 1236, which would be this 02996 and this 02961. Sometimes these can move down towards the 618, but if it does start to move down towards that, probably indicate to us that we get starting to, we could probably look at this in a different way. So, but it is, as long as it doesn't move down past that 1618, I would still be looking at this potential for this C wave to the upside here. Um, and then depending on how deep we come here, it would change this target area, but effectively the reverse of this would be looking for this A off of this B and then looking for that target, or alternatively projecting that A wave up and looking for that 1618 to that 1236. So this is the area I'm looking for to see if we get a bounce this 1236 to this 1382. If we do, then and we do develop 5-wave structure up here into this zone again of this 3550 to this 3362, then we could look for that possibility that actually this wave 2 has completed here rather, and it's gotten a bit bigger than we were at first anticipating. So if we do move up into this zone, basically this whole move is invalidated by moving past this 3696. If we move past this 3696, which would be the top of this move here, what we would then do is invalidate that possibility of having an impulse to the downside. But for as long as we don't actually cross back above that, we need to just be careful of the fact we could be developing this bigger 5-wave structure here. So the way that we can look at this, if we are looking for that potential to actually just sell off directly without getting that push to the upside, what I would be looking for is actually looking at this as a 1, 2, then looking at this as a diagonal again for 1 and a 2, and then potentially we're setting up for another 1 and 2. So the key difference here is within this count, we shouldn't cross this 3233 and this 3315 again. As long as those zones hold, this will be our key area for resistance on the way up if we do start to move up here in a 3-wave structure. So keep an eye on this. This 3186 would be the 786 zone. The 50% would be this 3123. And then that golden pocket would be here between this 3149 and this 3156. If we do get a 3-wave move back up into this zone, we'd have to watch to see if we start to get a further rejection to the downside. So within this structure, what it would be looking at is that potential to actually get a bigger move to the downside here, where we're looking to form a bigger 5-wave move, but directly. Where we form this as a 1, 2, then we'd get that sell-off for that 3, potentially taking us down towards this 2807 area if we're looking for an additional 4th and a 5th wave to the downside. So when we get these moves playing out to the downside, we'd have to see how this 4th wave progresses. If we do get this move down here, any kind of a move past this wave 1, which would be this 3042 over here, would invalidate this yellow 5th wave. And then basically the same idea with these. If we move back above these wave 1s, then it would invalidate the corresponding 5th waves that we have here. So we have to watch this as it plays out. Obviously, these moves, when we're trying to count an extension, sometimes these don't work out, and it could just be a corrective move. Like I said, this could just be an ABC, and then actually we look to invalidate these by moving back above these red lines, which would invalidate the counts. This 2233 and this 3315. If we move back above these highs, it would invalidate this potential for the extension. It wouldn't invalidate that idea of having a flat correction here, though, for wave 2 or a B wave, and then looking for that continuation to the downside from that point. So we keep that in mind. The whole idea here is that, we're looking for that for that B wave to the downside. If we're going to treat this as an A wave up, we want to see that decent correction down. The thing is, this is starting to take a lot of time here, so it is making me think that either we have something else going on within the structure. Like I said, we could argue that potentially we have some kind of a corrective move like this. This is an A, B, and a C, and then this is actually a high point here. And because we're looking for a potential of a fourth wave, we need to be careful on what happens off of this move. If we get this 5-wave move down, what I'll be watching is the retracement to the upside. If we get rejected at that 50% to that 786, we'd have to then watch that next move to the downside. Because if we start to get a deeper move, then it could be the fact that we actually set up a 1 and a 2 here and then actually look to break deeper. So you're going to have to give it a bit of space and see how this plays out. But effectively, the zone of support that we should be looking for if we want to look for continuation would be this 2363 to this 1802 zone. That's what we're looking for those for that downward price action. So the other way we were also talking about this previously, which is still viable at the moment, is looking at this basically slightly different and looking at this as a 1 into here, this is a 2 into this point here, and then looking at this potentially as a diagonal here as another 1, 2. So the problem within this count is, like I said in the previous option, we do look to be seeing some 5-wave structure, but within this we could argue that we have this as an A, a B, and a C as a flat, and then this could be a connector wave. We get a WXY down here one more time, and then we look to push to the upside. So the key zone of support for this would actually be this 2838. If we fail to hold this zone, what we could then do is actually look to roll over and follow that other option. So I do have this previous trend line drawn on here. Just look at these two lows here, which is currently sitting here towards this 2880 zone below us. If we do find support on this again, then we could look for that potential to actually rally to the upside here, where we're going to see a 5-wave structure followed by a 3-wave structure and then getting that bigger impulsive move to the upside. Obviously, if we do break this high, like I said in the previous option here, this high of this, what is it here? Wait, tell you. This 3696. If we break that 3696, then we can be looking for this potential. Though really, we'd only get a confirmation by a much bigger push to the upside here, and we'd be actually looking to target out this 5133 zone. So that would be sort of the confirmation, or the first part of the confirmation. Then we'd want to see evidence that we actually formed this fourth wave here, and then seeing a nice 5-wave move up here for this fifth wave, potentially into this range of this 058 05859 to this 0540 05405, and then basically from that point we'd be looking for two things really. If this extends out and we manage to cross above this move here, this 8166, then we could actually look for this bigger whole move from the beginning here to be a bigger impulse as a 1, 2. This becomes a wave 3. We'd look for a 4, and then we'd have that final fifth wave. Looking to potentially target out into this zone here of this 10-cent range to this 09018. So there's a lot of things that need to happen within this for this to actually play out. Like I said, the structure at the moment isn't that great to the downside here. We can argue that we could be getting a WX and a Y here, but really would need this 2838 area to hold. And if we were looking at this potentially as a flat in here, and then this is a connector wave, that 1-to-1 would actually be this 2764, but we probably wouldn't want to go that low. 786 would be here at this 02872 area, and then that 618 would be this 2962. So this could have a bit of confluence within these internal fib supports that we have here. If we do manage to hold this zone here, and we do start to move up impulsively, then we could be looking for that fact that we could be looking for this yellow third wave. But yeah, it needs more confirmation. This could quite easily just start to break down. Like we said, you'd have to start taking these swing highs here, and then you'd have to start breaking up in good structure with a good 5-wave move, a 3-wave move down, a bigger 5-wave move, 3-wave move, 5-wave move, looking to target out these highs, take these out, and then potentially look for that wave 2 and then that continuation up. That would be what I would be anticipating if we are looking for that bullish price action. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. In the description, you'll also find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourselves. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.